I'd like to welcome you to the Monday, February 3rd, 2014 meeting of the Lewis County Board of County Commissioners. We have a quorum. All three commissioners are present, and we will start with the flag salute led by Commissioner Schulte.
Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move that we approve the minutes of January 27th, 2014.
I second that.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes of January 27th. Are there any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Before we proceed any further, I'd like to say that I'll offer this county's congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks on their squeaker victory over the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. It was a great game, and I may be a little hoarse from my cold, but I'm also a little hoarse from yelling at my TV. The darn thing just won't listen to me. So.
Goes for all of us. A little hoarse today.
Public comment, Commissioner Ron Averill.
I don't know whether you read Schwartz's column in December. And it did. I told him I couldn't be the fourth commissioner. There's someone else already has that position. I also one of the things that I thought was great about the Super Bowl was the singing the Star Spangled Banner by that opera star.
That was great.
The first time that in a Super Bowl where that was sung properly in respect to our country, rather than someone out there trying to come up with some mumble jumble about how it should be sung. It was a great song. What I'm really here for, though, and Bill, this is directed primarily to you as the WICF representative, but I ran into something that I was not about which I was not previously aware, and that is that when employees of ours quit their jobs in this county, their insurance continues for 30 days, even though they can't use it. And my daughter is an example of this, and it is of huge concern to me because my daughter is a cancer survivor. She had pancreatic cancer. Half of her pancreas is removed, and she is totally dependent upon her medications for her health. The state will not allow her to get medications because she is still being carried by our insurance as active. So, some people don't have health problems, and some people can afford to go out and get it themselves. But whatever this practice is, and for whatever reason it is being done, it's wrong and it needs to be corrected. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And as a follow-up, Ron and I had a discussion at the senior breakfast at Twin Cities, and I sent it on to Graham to give us some feedback on this situation.
Okay. Thank you.
He's given us some information.
Okay, that's all the public comment. The notice agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the notice agenda, 3 items. Resolution number 14-TAC-040 to 14-TAC-042.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Legal publications, Carrie.
Item number 1, call for bids regarding the 2014 legal publication. Bids are due to the clerk of the board on March 24th, no later than 9:30 a.m. Resolution number 14040. RCW 36.72.05 is the law that requires us to go out for bid every year for legal publications, and that's what we'll be doing. And then we'll award the bid, the losses. We have to award the bid the first April, or the first commissioners meeting in April. So we'll be awarding on April 7th.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Elsey speaking to item numbers 2 and 3 on your notice agenda. Item number 2 is regarding the closure of Sturdivant Road to all through traffic from February 10th, 2014 to February 21st, 2014. As you're aware, we've provided notice in the past for this road to be closed from January 27th to February 7th. Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway was not able to get their work done in that length of time, so we are again noticing a road closure. It's not 2 road closures. We're only closing it this one time. Item number 2 on your notice agenda is publishing Lewis County's on-call consultant roster. This is
Item number 3.
Item number 3, sorry. This is resolution number 14-042, and as you're aware, in accordance with the publishing requirements of RCW 3980-030, Lewis County publishes the opening of the on-call consultant roster once each year. This is for professional type services such as archaeological investigation, architectural services, biological sciences, bridge and retaining wall structural design, those types of things. Last week we opened up the small works roster. We actually published these separately just to avoid confusion. Thank you.
Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll call the vote on the notice agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
I move that we approve the consent agenda, item 4 through 10, and resolution number 14-043-049.
Second.
The motion made and seconded. The first resolution, number 4, is 14-043, was the approval of warrants for this past week. And we have 261 regular warrants, the light week this week, $612,072.94. Item number 5 is a cancellation of warrants. From time to time, warrants that have been issued by the auditor's office are pulled for one reason or another. In this case, we have 6 separate warrants that are being pulled and voided. Sometimes I wonder how this can happen, but it does, even in government. If it happened in my business, I'd be really concerned. But anyway, there are 6 warrants that are being pulled and voided for the county. Mr. McLeod.
Good morning. Warren McLeod, the Lewis County Coroner. I'm going to be speaking to you in regards to resolution number 14-045. And this is approving a contract between the Lewis County Coroner and Catamount Funeral Home. The resolution in question regards a public service agreement between the Lewis County Coroner's Office and Catamount Funeral Home. This agreement is for the removal of decedents within Lewis County. The Lewis County Coroner's Office does not provide removal services for decedents and has always relied upon a rotating mortuary system to perform these services, charging a per removal fee. In the past few years, the contract for the removal has gone out to bid, and Catamount Funeral Home has been the only mortuary submitting a bid. This has allowed the Lewis County Coroner's Office to control an otherwise unpredictable cost. Under this PSA with Catamount Funeral Home, the removals of decedents will be made for an annual cost of $13,190 to be paid in equal monthly installments, irrespective of how many removals are made. This contract bid amount is $10 less than last year's bid by Catamount Funeral Home. With the number of cases being handled by Lewis County Coroner's Office increasing, this PSA is the best way to effectively control an otherwise unpredictable cost for the county. Thank you.
Just one correction, I think, Warren. I think wasn't the last year's contract $14,000?
Yes.
That's a difference of $990
Okay.
or $910, not
Right.
$10. Or $810, I guess.
Right.
Understood. Thank you. Mr. Fine.
Good morning, Commissioners. David Fine of the Prosecutor's Office. I speak to item 7 of your agenda. A state statute, specifically RCW 36.16.100, obliges the County Commission to set hours at which the public can transact business at various county locations. The proposed resolution would have you delegate this setting of hours to individually elected county officials for the various county offices. This is in keeping with the principle of Washington state constitutional law, providing that power at the local government level is to be diffused among independently elected officials. When you're charged by statute to carry out a function, one has to determine whether the function is legislative. If it is, then yourselves and only you can carry out that function. You cannot delegate. The setting of hours for a particular office is not a legislative function. The Congress of the United States does not set the hours for the Chehalis Post Office, to say the obvious. That is delegated to competent managers and administrators. You're charged by state statute to maintain the county roads. Obviously, no one ever intended that you're to do that. You delegate the oversight to the Public Works Director, who in turn subdelegates to road maintenance technicians. The setting of hours for the facility here, again, is an administrative function. There is mention that this is to be done by resolution, but that does not change it to a legislative function. You are a three-member governing body. We live under the Open Public Meetings Law. The only way that you may make such an administrative decision is to meet publicly, to vote, and of course your vote has to be recorded as a resolution. For this reason, Commissioners, I commend the resolution to you.
Just real quick, Mr. Chair. What this is saying in plain English in one sentence is, we are setting the times the front door will be open. The individual elected officials will put office hours for their individual offices. We are not dictating to any other elected official.
Thank you.
Good morning, Danette York, Director of Public Health and Social Services, speaking to items number 8 and 9. Number 8 is resolution number 14-047, approving the amended bylaws of the Lewis County Veterans Advisory Board. The Lewis County Veterans Advisory Board has reviewed their bylaws and suggested 5 changes. The changes are that no less than 7 regular members and no less than 2 alternate members serve as members of that board. The 2 alternate members shall be appointed and may attend meetings but will not have a vote unless a regular board member is absent. The term of the appointment for the advisory board members shall be 2 years. However, only up to 3 consecutive terms may be served. Membership of the advisory board shall be considered vacant by a member following 3 unexcused absences during a 1-year period, and that 1 year being the state fiscal year of July 1st through June 30th. And for the purposes of conducting official business, a quorum shall be a minimum of 4 members at the meeting. These bylaws have been submitted to you with the suggested changes, and we recommend that you do approve these changes. And I will have a redlined version of the bylaw showing all of the changes available upon request. If someone would like a copy, they can just come to our office or contact Public Health and Social Services, and we will provide that.
Okay, Jeanette, something I didn't pick up on before, and it says no less than 7 members. What happens if you have 10 members? Is your quorum still going to be 4? What happens if how are we going to change the number of members? Do we have to go through this process, or do we just randomly select it?
That's a very good question.
I wish I had caught it sooner.
Yeah, me too. I really thought that they meant to say the membership will be 7 members, not that it could be more than 7
We may
members.
have to revise that again in the future to accommodate that. But
Yeah, I will double check that and submit a requested revision.
I wouldn't have caught it except when you say that the quorum is going to be 4 members instead of 5. Then it catches
Right.
attention of whether or not you're going to have 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 members. So,
I think the intent was just 7 members, but I'll clarify that.
okay, thank you.
Item number 9 is resolution number 14-048. This approves a reduced fee for a multiple user event for a single event of food. So this is actually going back and approving this fee change for an event that has already occurred. It's a reduced fee for multiple users in a single event, and this came about because of the Rotary Club's Taste of Lewis County. This resolution, if approved, will change the permitting cost for the Taste of Lewis County food sampling event that occurred in 2014. Currently, our fee schedule that is adopted by you annually at the end of each calendar year does not allow for this type of permit fee. We would have had to charge every food operation that participated in this event a temporary permit, which would be $50 each. That gets pretty costly when the Rotary Club was holding this event as a fundraiser and the funds are put back into the community. So rather than do that, we are requesting that this be approved to allow them to do a one-time flat rate fee of $200, and that's paid by the event sponsor. This is a one-time change specifically for this event. However, at the end of this year, when we submit our recommended changes for the fee schedule, we will establish this as a permanent fee category for such events. And in the meantime, if there are other sponsors of events such as this that they feel like they fall into the same type of category, they can contact us at Public Health and Social Services and apply for the same consideration of a different fee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Lee Napier, Director of Community Development, speaking on agenda item number 10, Resolution 14-049. Before the County Commissioners is a resolution and an interlocal agreement for shared services. The interlocal agreement is the work product of a resolution that was passed by Lewis County Commissioners and all the cities within Lewis County to form an advisory committee to look at ways in which staff could collaborate and possibly, as you'll see in this resolution and interlocal agreement, share services. This product had been reported on to the mayors and city managers group and was approved and accepted by the mayors and city managers group in September. And as you will see, it has been signed by all of the communities, with Lewis County being the last one to sign. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Concludes our presentation of consent items. Is there any comment from the board? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor of the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have an RFP opening, which is just it's a formal opening of bids for a request for proposals for the flood authority. And this procedure is just to hear the bid opening in a public setting, and there will be no action taken on this. It will be submitted for advisement from the Community Development Department at a later date.
Thank you, Commissioners. Again, Lee Napier, Director of Community Development. This was an advertisement that the board had approved on January 6th, 2014 through Resolution 14-003. And so before us, it looks like we have one submittal. In response to that notice, it's from French & Associates out of Steilacoom, Washington. So the deadline for this was Friday at 9 a.m. This proposal was submitted in time to meet that deadline. It appears as though they have submitted a proposal that is complete, and I will accept this on behalf of the Flood Authority and forward this on to our consultants to schedule interviews. And once the interview process is complete, we'll take it back to the Flood Authority for their feedback. And if this proposal is something that the Flood Authority is willing to pursue, you'll see it back before you in the form of a contract.
Lee, could you state again what this RFP is for?
This is a RFP from French and Associates, and they are submitting a request to our request for proposals to complete a floodplain management analysis report. This is work from the Flood Authority that has been that has received a legislative appropriation.
So what they're going to do is consider floodplain regulations for 4 or 5 counties and look at similarities and differences?
Right. The scope of this will be the Chehalis watershed, so the Chehalis main stem, which does span several counties. So Grace Harbor, Lewis, and Thurston counties, and the cities within those counties will be involved.
And so the reason we're doing this at this body is that we operate as the fiscal agent for the flood authority. This is actually a flood authority project.
That's correct.
Which came from the legislature for us.
That's correct.
Any other questions? Thank you,
I
Larry.
will take this. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I see no further business. I move we adjourn.
Second?
Motion made and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.